Hi, I'm Wendy Yi, and welcome to the Dice Tower. Today, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 deduction games. So what I mean by that is in deduction games, you're trying to figure out some sort of information. There's something that you're going to deduce from clues. So based on absolutely no clues, let's see if you can deduce what my top 10 are. All right, starting with number 10 is Chronicles of Crime. So this is an app-based game where you basically are scanning QR codes and you're interviewing people that are witnesses in crime scenes, and you're looking around crime scenes and you're trying to figure out who done it. And this one I think is really cool because you have that QR code scanning effect, and you can literally change from like one scene to another and interview different people. And it's really cool how as you go to certain locations, like you really feel like you're solving a crime. And so I love it thematically because the deduction really ties into the theme. It's not just like, I'm trying to figure out this thing but really it ties in, and I think that that's very awesome. So that's my number 10, Chronicles of Crime. Number 9 on my list is Fugitive. So this is a little tiny 2-player game by Tim Fowers. And in this game, one person is the fugitive. They're trying to escape without getting caught. And the other person is the marshal. They're trying to catch the fugitive. And so it's a little card-based game where basically players have cards in their hand. And so they know the numbers that they have. And then the fugitive is going to play cards out secretly, and they can only play, numbers up to, I think, like 3 spaces away from where they're at, like 3 numbers away from where they're at. And the fugitive is always trying to guess where they are. But there's ways to like dash and run ahead. And so it's just interesting being able to play and trying to deduce, where is that fugitive based on the cards that I have, the cards that I've drawn and seen, as well as, the cards that they've laid out to see maybe they've done some sprinting, maybe they've done some running. And basically you're just trying to catch them before they get to the end of the number line. And then they escape in a helicopter and they're often free. So I really enjoy Fugitive. It's a fun 2-player game. Number 8 on my list is Code Names, and this is honestly a game that I was burnt out with for years, I felt like. Everybody wanted to play Code Names at every party ever. But you know what? Taking a break from it, spending a little bit of time playing the app, which the app is only fine. It's fun, but it requires everyday access, and I don't want to play Code Names every single day. Once again, burnout. But Code Names is such a fun game because you have people who are the code givers, and they are trying to give clues so that you can guess who the spies on your team are, and you're trying not to guess the spies on other people's teams. But all of them have these different code names, and it's basically this grid of words. And so you're trying to slowly flip over stuff and hope that you don't flip over other teams or the assassin, like the bad guy, and lose. So it's basically a word game, but it's a deduction word game because you're given these clues and you're trying to flip them over. I think it's fun, and there's a reason why everybody played it, and there's a reason why it got burnt out because it was played so much, because it's a good game. It really is. So there you go. There's Code Names. Next up on my list is number 7, and this is Things in Rings. And in this game, there are 3 different rings, and you're trying to figure out the rules of each ring and ultimately shed all the cards out of your hand. And you do that by placing cards in a ring and kind of guessing where it goes. And if you're correct, you get to keep it there. Otherwise, the person who knows the rules will move it into the correct part of the Venn diagram, and then you have to draw a new card and try again later. This is one because I enjoy because you're trying to deduce the rules, but you don't actually have to figure them out to win. Instead, you're just trying to get rid of all your cards. So you can kind of luck into it, or you can kind of get an idea of like, hey, maybe this has something to do with it being wooden, but I'm not sure if that's actually the case, or if it's that it's alive, or if it's that it's man-made. It's fun that you don't have to know exactly what the rules are. You're just trying to kind of deduce it and work through it by shedding those cards. So there you go. That's Things in Rings. Good deduction game. Number 6 on my list is probably the biggest stretch, even though it still is very much deduction to me, and that is Werewords. So it's like a social deduction game mixed with a word deduction game put together, and the more that I talk about it, the more I think this is not a stretch at all, right? So in Werewords, you have like the normal werewolf roles where you have the werewolves who are trying to get people not to guess the correct word, and then you have the the seer who can see who the werewolves are, but they don't want to be caught helping too much because the werewolf gets to like pick them. And ultimately you're playing 20 questions, right? You are asking the person who knows what the word is, yes or no questions. And you're getting the little yes or no chips that they hand out. And so when you run out of chips or you run out of time, you have to guess the correct word. If you haven't guessed it, then, you lose and the werewolf wins. But if you do guess it correctly, then the werewolf can guess the seer. And if they guess the seer right, then they win anyways. So anyways, it's a fun deduction game. I don't really like social deduction games. I find that they're based on very little information and you're just making wild accusations all the time. But this one's fun because you're just playing 20 questions, but it adds a little bit more to it. Number 5 on my list is another word game, and this does require 6 to 8 people to play, so it doesn't get played very often, but I really enjoy it, and that is Decrypto. And so in Decrypto, you have one person on each team who are the clue givers for a given round, and they have to give a clue to get their team to guess words in a specific order, so every word is assigned a number. So they have to pick the right number in order and get that correct, while the other team is trying to deduce and figure out what words are actually associated to what numbers. So you're given these clues. So both teams are trying to deduce different but the same information, basically. And so you're trying to give clues that are not super obvious, because if you say like the words grocery store and you say food, shopping cart, you know what I mean? Cash register, the other team's obviously going to figure out that it has something to do with like some sort of grocery store or regular store or something like that, and they'll figure it out. So you have to give a kind of further clues like apples, I don't know, something like that. So there you go. That's Decrypto. It's a fun game. I haven't been able to play it in a while, which is so sad. And I know some other people have said that there's other games that have kind of replaced it for it. But for me, I enjoy Decrypto. All right, number 4 on my list is the game that feels the most deduction. Like I look at this game and I think this game is pure deduction, and that is Turing Machine. It's literally based on like deduction computer work stuff. Okay, so you have these punch card kind of things, and you have different tests and rules, and you are guessing a sequence of numbers, and you are literally like placing those sequence of numbers in these little punch card things, and you're seeing if it is correct with the rule or not correct with the rule. And so I really enjoy how this game just really takes deduction down to its roots, and it becomes this machine. Like they built this game to be a machine made out of paper cards. And I think that it's so cool. So really enjoy this game. I'm happy to play it with or without people, competitively, cooperatively, doesn't matter. I just want to do the deduction part. So I think it's a lot of fun. So there you go. Turing Machine is a good deduction game. Number 3 on my list is Orapa Mine, and this is the newest deduction game for me. And holy cow, I thought it was going to be overwhelmingly difficult, and it ended up being really, really cool. So this made me happy. So in Orapa Mine, whoever has the set in front of them has a player screen, and behind it, they have a grid, and then they have shapes that they place out, like little triangles and stuff that they place out. And players are going to guess one part of the grid where their light or whatever is going to enter, and then it is going to bounce off everything that it bounces off, and then it's going to change colors, and then ultimately it's going to leave a space. And so you find out where the entrance space, or you guess where the entrance space is, and then the person who has the pieces in front of them, they're going to tell you the exit space and the color. And so you're like, okay, that's cool. And honestly, I thought it was going to be like crazy. I was like, how do you visualize this? How do you get anywhere? But there's some cool moments where like flat pieces, it'll bounce right back out where it came from, be the same color that you expected. And you're like, okay, I know exactly where the yellow piece is. And because the yellow piece is this specific shape, I know it can only be like these 3 different spots where it could be. And you slowly narrow it down, and it's so cool. So really like Orapa Mine. It doesn't take a ton of time. And honestly, at 2 players, it's probably the coolest because both players have sets of the little shapes in front of them. And so you are always guessing and giving clues at the same time. Anyways, it's a lot of fun. I like Orapa Mine. All the way to number 2. This one is Micro Macro, and make your pick as to which one you use or do. But in Micro Macro, you have this giant picture of Where's Waldo style, where you have just tons of people doing tons of things throughout this huge city, and you're slowly trying to solve crimes. And so you look and you say like, oh, I see this dead body. You know, this card wants me to find the dead body. I found it. Now I need to kind of look around and backtrack and see where was that dead person alive? And you just slowly like work your way through these stories, and you see, oh, I see, you know, someone with a mask, you know, shot them. Okay, that's why they're dead. So then you follow the person with the mask and you slowly see till they take off the mask and you're like, oh my goodness, it's the barber. And so it's fun to follow the storylines, and it gets kind of crazy when they start using the Metro system. And then you're like, I don't know where they went. I have to find out where they popped up. It's a fun game. I enjoy it. I think it's incredibly cool. So Micro Macro, big win. We finally made it to number 1 on the list, and this is Bomb Busters. And this is number 1 because I think it's the one that my daughter is most interested in right now. And so it's the one that we're most likely to pull out and play. And in Bomb Busters, you all have numbered wires that you order from, lowest to highest. And then you're trying to deduce what the other players have. And there's little bits of information you can give out. And there's special ability cards that will let you gain more information. But you're trying to flip over the same numbers at the same time. So you're like, is that a number 10? And they're like, yes, it's a number 10. You're like, oh, good, because I have a number 10. And you have to snap the same wires at the same time. But there's 4 of every number. So if we get our 10s down, that's cool. Someone else has to get their 10s down. You know what I mean? Like someone else somewhere at the table has the other 2 10s. And so, it's a cool game. It's very good. It's super cute too. And I think that is really a big draw. So there you go. Those are my 10 top deduction games. There's obviously so many more out there. I'm sure there's ones that I've missed. Please share in the chat what you enjoy. What are your favorite deduction games? And yeah, thanks for joining me today. I'm Wendy Yi. Keep deducing stuff.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video on the Dice Tower. Hey, do you want to know what's going on with Dice Tower? Do you want to know about our events, our cruises, special things that we're going to do live here in the Dice Tower? Subscribe to Dice Tower Digest. Go to dicetowerdigest.com. It's a newsletter that we send out bi-weekly. We won't use your email for anything else. This is just to get you some information about the Dice Tower so you'll be up to date. Thanks for watching.